We have the Opalite music video in all its whimsy and glory and full of Easter eggs and full of business strategy. My name's Amanda and I graduated in the top % of one of our top ranking business schools. So I am going to take you to Swifty Biz School. Taylor is using some really interesting business strategy around the Opalite music video launch because, of course, chart topping is big business for artists. And she is going for that #1 slot with her Opalite single. So let's explore the tactics and talk about whether we think she can make it. Let's go.
Instead of the music video dropping on YouTube like so many have before, she held it off of YouTube until Sunday and instead released it solely on premium Spotify as well as premium Apple Music. Like the businesswoman that she is, she made this release schedule in order to maximize the song's chart potential. See, YouTube and Billboard had a little bit of a tussle back in December when Billboard announced that they would adjust the ratios for what counted towards the Billboard charts and continue to devalue ad-supported streams. YouTube said, fine, if you don't like our ad-supported model, we're not going to give you any data at all. Don't count us in your charts. As such, with Apple Music and Spotify mattering much more this time around and YouTube not mattering at all, Taylor created this strategy to ensure that she was driving fans excited for the new music video to places where they would push Opalite up the charts. To see how Taylor fares with Opalite's first week as a single, we're going to be looking for the chart that is released on Tuesday, February 17th, that handles sales from February 6th to February 12th. And an interesting note, physical sales that matter the most for where a single ranks on the Billboard 100 chart are counted when the item is shipped, not when it is ordered. These singles are intended to help push Opalite to #1, which would be Taylor's second #1 from this album, something that hasn't happened since 1989, when she had 3 chart-topping singles with Shake It Off, Blank Space, and Bad Blood, the Kendrick Lamar version. The charts have been particularly kind to Taylor this time around. The Fate of Ophelia sat at the top of the Billboard 100 for 10 consecutive weeks, which is a career best for Taylor.
Taylor is now tied with Drake for 13 #1 singles on the Billboard Hot 100. If she's able to push Opalite up to that #1 spot, she'll end up tied with Rihanna for 14 #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100 and the all-time leader of the most #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100 is the Beatles. They have 20 #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100. They knew that there was no point competing with Bad Bunny for this very first week of Opalite being a single. He's coming off too strong of a Grammy night and such an incredible Super Bowl performance that's talked about to this level. He's probably going to have that top spot for Opalite's first week. So instead, they held back all of their biggest moves for these following weeks. It's looking like their plan is to have the first week of music video streams start the momentum and push Opalite above the 10 spot that it hasn't really been able to crack thus far. Then they're going to start pulling out the big moves. It's very noticeable that they have yet to ship a single CD or vinyl from the Opalite drops. And as we've covered, when they are shipped is when these physical products count for the charts. So Taylor still has all of those points in reserves, ready to send them at the right moment. As expected, after noticing the patient for the Encore sign, Taylor had another version of the music video ready to go for social, and she dropped it on February 13th, the very first day of the next week of Opalite's single status. So the cycle goes from a Friday through the end of the next Thursday. So February 13th was the very beginning of Opalite's second week as a single. And as expected, Taylor dropped these extended versions only on the premium versions of Spotify and Apple Music to ensure that everyone went back to the apps where streams count the most to watch this Encore. Noticeably, she dropped it in 2 parts, not 1, ensuring that she got at least double the number of streams for Opalite for this next week in the charts. By breaking it up into 2 pieces, she was able to double that traffic. And by directing it straight to the premium versions, she was able to make sure that every single stream of these behind the scenes that Swifties are excited to see pushes Opalite further up the charts. Her team then followed that up with yet more physical products by releasing several different remixes. Remixes, importantly, count as part of the normal version for the charts unless it's a substantially different song. So all of these remix CD sales are going to continue to push our main Opalite single up the Billboard 100 charts when they ship. Since it now appears that this second week is the one that Taylor and her team are targeting for Opalite to hit #1, I would expect to see all of those physical items, or at least many of them, ship before Thursday, February 19th in order to fit into the second week of Opalite status for the chart. We'll find out for sure how Opalite does on its second week as a single on Tuesday, February 24th for the chart dated February 28th. And this will cover all of the sales and streams of Opalite from February 13th through February 19th. It'll be very interesting to see how these tactics work and if Taylor can push Opalite to #1 for its second week as a single. I do not think it has hope of hitting #1 on its first week as a single. We'll find that out very shortly. My name is Amanda. I cover Taylor Swift and the intersection of Taylor Swift and books, and I would love it if you would come along. It would mean so much to me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Will Opalite hit #1? How will Taylor's tactics work, and what do you make of them? I will be back with you shortly with another video, and in the meantime, I would love if you would come along, like, subscribe. It would mean so much if you would support me in that way. And I will see you soon. Bye.